Now if you love chicken katsu curry, this video's for you. I'm going to show you how to make the curry sauce from scratch. No flipping packet mixes, cubes or any of that nonsense. But there's a secret to getting that chicken nice and crispy. So stay tuned, I'll show you how to do that as well. God, this video's full of like tips and tricks in it. Let's go. But the first thing we need to do is some prep. Now don't worry, all the ingredients will be listed in the description below. But it starts off with some carrot, onion, a bit of ginger, and some garlic. With your carrots, just rinse them under the tap, give them a quick wash. You don't need to peel them or anything like that. Top and tail them, and then just cut them into rings, about the thickness of a £1 coin. And then with the onion, just peel that, take off those flipping onion pubes, and then just dice that into chunks. Don't need to be too fussy with it because it's all gonna get blitzed up in the end. Same with the garlic, just peel those, and then like cut them into lengths. Again, doesn't matter. Lastly with the ginger, just dice that up into small pieces, ready for the pot. Right, let's make some sauce. Now all the prep's done, and we're going to make a big batch of sauce. Don't worry, if you live on your own like me, whatever you don't use, just cool it down and freeze it. And then you've got some katsu sauce ready to go when you want it. Okay, so first off, I'm going to lug in some sunflower oil. You can use veg oil. Don't use any like fancy olive oil for this. Then whack it onto like a medium heat. I need to get some more knobs for this. They've all broken off. Cheap shite. And then straight in with your carrot and onion. And then just gently saute these off for about 10 minutes, okay? Just nice and gently, because what we're trying to do is extract the sweetness from the onion and carrot. Then after about 10 minutes, we're gonna go in with our ginger and garlic. Give that no more than like 60 seconds really, because you don't want the garlic to burn. Next, we're gonna go in with our spices. Now, you might think that there's lots of different spices in a katsu curry sauce. It's not the case. First thing is, we're gonna go with our curry powder. So 1.5 tablespoons of that. And it's just basic medium curry powder. That's all you need. And a couple of teaspoons of turmeric. And again, just give it a couple of minutes because you want to cook out those spices. Next, we're going to go in with some plain flour. This is going to thicken our sauce. So 4 good heaped tablespoons of just ordinary plain flour. Make a mess while you're at it as well, Adam. Why not? Swat. And same thing with the spices. We need to cook this flour out. If you don't do that, then your finished sauce is going to taste chalky and floury. So spend a couple of minutes, just keep it moving, and just kind of takes the rawness out of that flour. And now we can start adding some of our chicken stock. Okay, so just go in with a little bit to start with. And to start with, it's going to clump together, and it's going to be a sticky, claggy mess. And you're going to think, oh my God, it's a freaking mess. Don't worry, no one's going to die. Your kitchen's not going to explode. Then just add a bit more stock. And watch, it'll come together. Once it looks like the inside of a toddler's nappy, you can kind of add the rest of the stock really and just kind of mix it through, and it will come together. Don't worry, it will come together. Now I've just been continuously stirring this for a few minutes, and you can see, look, it's already coming together nicely already. There we go. So I'm going to stick a lid on that and just give that like 20-30 minutes, okay? Just until the onions are nice and soft, the carrots are cooked through, and it's nice and thick and glossy. And now onto the chicken tips. Now I'm just going to do the one here, but there is enough sauce there for like 4 or 5 people, no problem. So, you know, there's going to be plenty, but I'm just going to do one. Which one do I want? I'll have that one, I'll have the big one. Oh shit, I just splattered chicken juice all over the place. That's good, isn't it, for health and safety? Well done. And I'm just going to trim this a little bit. I'm going to take out that kind of cartilagey bit. Just on there, just on the edge of the breast. I think there's anything else? Nip off that end piece. And now we need to beat the living daylights out of it. So what we're going to do is just take a piece of cling film, stretch it out onto your board, take a clean sharp knife and cut through that not very successfully because my knife needs sharpening. There we go. Chicken booby on top, take another piece of cling film and lay it on top. Again, cut it, clean knife. And then taking an implement of your choice, in this case I'm using a rolling pin. You could use like a meat hammer or the bottom of a saucepan or something. But just kind of whack it. Don't pulverise it to death, but you just kind of want to beat it out until it's all of an even thickness. So you got that kind of thickness really, and it's a nice even thickness across the whole chicken breast, so it cooks at the same time from this end to that end. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes. Just take the lid off and have a little look. Now at this point, you need to make a decision. You can have this chunky like it is now. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong with this. If you're going to have it chunky like this, then add your honey and soy sauce now. And then obviously add a bit of salt if you need to. But I want mine like fairly smooth, so I'm going to whiz it up with a stick blender. Get this over here for a second. Get my old stick blender out. Like, don't worry about the mess in this cupboard. It's a mess, I know, but you ain't got to worry about that, are you? I will sort it out in there one day, but not today. I'm gonna use my stick blender for this. You can use like a food processor. If you wanna break it up a bit, you can like mash it with like a potato masher. And if you want it like really, really smooth, you can pass it through a sieve, but I can't be arsed today, so I'm just gonna whiz it up with this. It's gonna get quite loud though, so sorry. Now I've whizzed that up, this is the final steps of making this sauce. So first things first, some soy sauce, some light soy. Just a tablespoon of that. This is gonna give it saltiness, so you shouldn't need any salt. There's gonna be salt in the soy and also the stock as well. And then finally, some honey, tablespoon and a half I'm going for. You can adjust it to your liking if you, if you so desire. But for me, that is gonna be plenty. Give that a final shufty. And I'm gonna give that a quick taste. See if it needs any salt. That is perfect. So all I'm gonna do is just turn the heat off. Pop the lid on that and just stick it at the back, and then we'll just warm it through when we need it. Now remember when I said at the beginning of the video, there's a little secret to getting your chicken cutlets nice and crispy on the outside. And it's these suckers, panko breadcrumbs. Why are they better than normal breadcrumbs? I'm gonna tell you. Panko breadcrumbs are a Japanese breadcrumb, and they're just like, they're lighter, they're more airy, which means when we cut our chicken, fry it in the pan, it's gonna soak up less oil. And the result of that is crispier chicken, okay? So that's your secret. Panko, get some. Obviously not flipping at Sainsbury's though, because they were like £1.90 for like that 100 gram tub. You can probably get them cheaper elsewhere. So in order to coat our chicken, we need to set up like a breading station, right? So you need 3 dishes, flour, egg, breadcrumbs, and then a plate at the end to put your chicken on at the end. Again, I'm only doing 1. So obviously just increase the quantities for however many chicken breasts you're using. So I'm gonna go in with like a couple of tablespoons of flour, my piece of chicken. Look, you know, it's hard to measure out and put exact quantities. You know, it all depends on how many chicken breasts you're having, the size of the chicken breast, so just kind of go a bit with feeling. I'm gonna use 1 egg, which is gonna be plenty for 1 chicken breast. Get that in there. And reluctantly, I'm using my posh flipping Burford brown eggs, because I forgot to get some cheaper ones, which, you know, you wouldn't really use a Burford brown for this kind of thing. It's because it doesn't really matter, does it? You know, you're not going to taste it. And then in this dish, my breadcrumbs. Again, just kind of eyeball it really. I'm going to double dip mine. So I'm going to need a bit more than that, I think. And these panko breadcrumbs, incidentally, make a great coating for Scotch eggs. Top tip. Quickly season your flour, a little pinch of salt, pepper. Top tip for you as well for your egg. Okay, add a little pinch of salt to your egg. Now, what this does, that's probably a bit too much, never mind. What this does is it breaks down the kind of white in the egg, so it makes it more liquidy, which is kind of what you want when you're breading something. So I always say, when you're making like scrambled eggs, add your salt at the end when it's cooked, because if you do it at the beginning, you're gonna get watery scrambled eggs, which is not good for anyone, is it? I'm just gonna whisk this together. Then I'm gonna take our chicken breast, plop it straight in the seasoned flour, toss it in that flour, get it all coated, shake off the excess, straight into the egg. Get that coated again, make sure there's no bold spots, and again, into the breadcrumbs. And really kind of pack it on there, get that nicely coated. Again, don't leave any bold spots. Shake off the excess, back into the egg again. So we're gonna double dip this, so coat it in that egg again. Back in the breadcrumbs for a second coating. Get that nicely packed. Shake off any loose bits, onto a plate. And then you get your hands all covered in cack. And yeah, that's ready to go, that chicken. So I'm gonna have a bit of a clear up and then we can get frying. Right, let's get a pan. I'm going to shallow fry this chicken cutlet. Got my rice on. Again, add some oil, a neutral oil, sunflower or veg. And I'll get this onto sort of medium-high heat. I'm going to say like a 5. Rice is going, get the lid onto that, set a timer. Hey Google, set timer for 7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes.
Thanks.
Now.
Thank you. If you don't know how to cook rice, I've done a video already, so click the link on the screen after you've watched this. Okay, now, so this pan is starting to get, oh shit. Stop, calm down. This is the problem with like filming and trying to cook. Now what we can do to test to see if our oil's ready is just drop a piece of breadcrumb in, and if it starts fizzing, which that's not, then it's ready to go. So it needs to get a little bit hotter. You need to calm down, mate. Like, what's your issue? Fucking hell, you're on 2. Behave. Right, the oil is now hot enough, so I'm gonna lay in our chicken. Now you're going to want to fry the chicken for about 3 minutes each side. It is of course going to depend on the thickness of your chicken breast. 3 minutes is about where you want to be. And if you want to use a probe, the internal temperature needs to be 75 degrees C, which is like 165 Fahrenheit for it to be considered safe to eat by UK standards. Okay, right, this bad boy is ready to flip. Oh, look at that. So our chicken cutlet is now cooked through. I'm going to take this out and pop it onto a wire rack. Oh, yes. Come on. And here's what I'm talking about when I say crispy. Listen to this. Now leave that to rest for a couple of minutes. Firstly, because it's going to be hotter than the devil's arse crack, but also you kind of want the chicken to kind of reabsorb those juices and stay nice and tender. It's also not advisable to leave your plastic tongs in the hot fat that you fried your chicken in. Because look, flipping well melted. Guess that's the end of them then, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to take my chicken cutlet and I'm going to slice it up. Add some rice. This is Thai jasmine rice. You can use any rice you like, really. My crispy chicken and some of our glorious Katsu sauce. A little bit of greenery, you know, just to make it pop. And there you have, chicken Katsu curry. And now I've saved just a little bit of the chicken just so you can hear how crispy this is. Get those panko breadcrumbs. But let's try it with that sauce, that Katsu sauce, look. Look at that. Is it a traditional recipe? I don't know, because there's lots of different variations out there. Is it the same as Wagamama's famous Katsu curry? Again, couldn't tell you because I've never been. So there we are, that's how you make a chicken Katsu curry, on my way to do it at least. And like I said before, make a big batch of sauce because you can cool it down and freeze it into portions. And you don't have to do chicken either, you can get like a pork loin steak, bash that out and do the same thing. There you go, chicken Katsu, and I'll see your gorgeous faces next time. Ta-ra for now.